Functional rig training, rig exercises module. So we'll look at some of the pull-up exercises to begin with, including assisted pull-ups, pull-up grip variations, rock climber pull-ups, L pull-ups and chin-ups. So the first one we'll look at is the assisted pull-up. So you place the foot into the strap, take hold of the bars, extend the leg, and then we're going to use the tension from the strap to assist us as we're lifting ourselves upwards. If you start with the strap higher up, it's going to make it easier because there's going to be more tension and therefore more assistance. There is a varying degree of assistance, if you hadn't realized that, is when we're at the bottom position and there's more tension on the strap, there's going to be a bit more help. As we lift ourselves up towards the bar, the tension is going to decrease on the strap and therefore it's going to provide us with less assistance. And this is where it varies from your assisted pull-up machine. Here we just see an example of the wide pronated grip pull-up. And with kind of pull-ups, you want to start with your shoulders slightly elevated, and you really want to focus on depressing the scapula as you pull up. Try not to do it as a separate movement, so you don't want to depress first and then perform the actual pulling motion. The scapular depression should happen as you bring the elbows down and to the side. Obviously we call any kind of pull-up with the hands pronated a pull-up, and with the hands are supinated, then we refer to them as a chin-up. So variations on the pull-up and chin-up, as we see here, we have our wide pronated grip, so it's going to be working primarily our lats in adduction. We have our narrow pronated grip, narrow supinated, so this is now more of a pull-up, a bit more biceps brachii activation. We have our neutral grip, so it's kind of semi-supinated position. And then we can start to do some split grip, so we can have one supinated, one neutral, or one neutral, one pronated, or wide pronated and neutral. Or we can do one both narrow, one supinated, and one pronated. So lots of variations. Most people only tend to do kind of one or two, but there's quite a few that you can use once you can get those variations in your head. Other pull-up variations will include the rock climber. So this is the wide pronated grip. And what we do here is you start at the bottom as per normal, but you're going to pull yourself diagonally up towards one hand, back down to the middle, and then up towards the other side. If you're looking for other variations of this, then we have a T, which is where we come up centrally and then just move ourselves from side to side at the top. Good for a little bit of variation rather than your standard pronated grip pull-up. Now L pull-ups, standard pull-up, but what we're going to do is we're going to hold our legs 90 degrees of hip flexion. So we're going to need a lot of core activation to hold the legs there as we're performing this movement. So it does make it significantly more challenging. So if you're looking to add more core overload whilst you're performing your standard pull-up exercise, then this type of variation is obviously very good for that. And this can also be done with the kind of chin-ups, so palms facing you in a supinated position. Legs, as you see, are extended out in front at 90 degrees of hip flexion. And we pull ourselves with the palms facing towards you. Elbows coming downwards, so this is more shoulder extension rather than shoulder adduction, which is what we see with our standard pull-up. Also going to get more biceps brachii overload because of the supinated grip position. It's more favourable to help recruit the elbow flexors that way. Now, just like with monkey bars, we can start to kind of do some hand walks. In this case, some of the pull-up bars, maybe one bar on top of the other, so we can do these little up-down hand walks as we see here. You effectively perform a small pull-up, just enough to give you enough space to reach one hand or lift one hand off the bar and up to the next one. Now we'll look at some of the exercises you can perform on the wings, including burpee to hang, hanging bar taps, zigzag variations, hand walk up and walk down, hand walk up and jump down, and then the more advanced jumping pull-ups and muscle-ups. So burpee to hang, this is quite nice. You effectively perform your standard burpee, jump up, take hold of, grab the bar, quick 1 second hold and hang, and then repeat. So we'd use this as sort of a kind of metabolic drill. You could add a little pull-up in addition to that as well if you wanted to, or if you kind of struggle with the hang, even if you just go up and actually just tap the bar rather than actually grabbing on and hanging from it. But a good little metabolic. Hanging bar taps are what we'd see when we do the monkey bar module presentation as well. We're going to push down with the arms, almost like performing a pullover, lift the legs up to touch the bar. In this case, we're having to kind of, as we go up the bars, you're having to reach upwards rather than outwards, which is what we do the monkey bars. So it's a smash pattern exercise, going to be working anterior core and a little bit on the kind of the lats as well. Initially, we can just kind of start off just tapping the bar that we're holding, or maybe the one above it, and progress to the higher bars as we get more. And we can perform our zigzag shuffle walks. So in this case with the wings, we can perform these kind of lateral hand shuffles, walk up to the next bar, shuffle back along, back up again. And again, this just very much like the monkey bars, just helps us to vary the kind of movements that we're doing, so it's not always side to side, or it's not always just straight up and down. So this can help us to increase the time under tension for a particular set, particularly for the grip musculature. And this could be done again as kind of 1 potato, 2 potato walks, and then reaching up to the next bar. There's a few variations, slightly less than what we could do with the kind of monkey bars, but you get the idea. Now these hand walk up and walk down, very similar to what we saw on the pull-up bars slightly earlier. Just going to do a small pull-up, reach, take one hand off, reach up to the next bar, bring the other hand to the same bar, and just going up and down the wing as such. Now the challenging progression for this is to walk up and then jump down. So we walk all the way up to the top, and then with each jump down, effectively you're going to release both hands and take hold of the next bar beneath you. So you have to kind of catch yourself mid-drop. So this does make it significantly challenging. This is a nice progression if you are looking at building up to be doing jumping pull-ups, which is what we'll show you next. This effectively teaches you the catching part of it first of all. So not easy, does require a lot of grip strength, so you want to make sure you've got good strength endurance before you even attempt this. Jumping pull-ups then, one of the hardest exercises that you can do. So effectively you're going to perform a very fast pull-up explosively, and as you reach the top of the pull-up, you're going to reach up with both hands, or release with both hands, and take hold of the bar above you. Extremely challenging, not to be attempted by anyone unless you've got excellent pull-up and excellent grip strength. We can either walk down, or as you see here, do the same kind of little jump down. Walk down is obviously easier, and then we can progress to jumping up and jumping down at a later stage. And then to finish, we have muscle ups. Again, one of the most challenging drills we can do. Effectively, it's a very fast pull up as you're kind of leaning back, and then you shift your weight forward as the elbows come behind you, and you do need a good degree of shoulder extension to do this well. And you shift the weight forward, and then effectively get yourself into a position to be able to press yourself up, very much like a dip. It is a very challenging exercise. We actually kind of prefer doing it on a bar rather than the more unstable gymnastic rings, but everybody has their kind of preference. But this is a tough exercise. And again, just like jumping pull-ups, you don't want to be attempting this unless you have a very, very proficient individual at performing pull-ups and with very good grip. And the other key thing with this, like I said, is they need to have good shoulder extension. Otherwise, they're going to struggle during that transition phase. So on the application, pull-up bars, you want to use a variety of grips for variation and overall pull movement progression. For the wings, definitely need to ensure adequate grip strength and endurance using hangs and hanging core drills, similar to what you would see with the monkey bars on that presentation. And we can progress to moving bar to bar walking exercises, again in a progressive manner, bar to bar jumps, and also, as we saw a minute ago, the muscle ups are highly advanced, requiring excellent pulling strength, excellent grip strength, and shoulder stability. And you really do need to assess the risk to benefit ratio before looking at undertaking those particular drills.
So you should now complete the review questions for this module to ensure you've met the learning outcomes. And then you should complete the guided learning practice for this module, details of which are in the learner management system. Best way, practice the exercise yourself so you're happy with the techniques, and then you can practice coaching the exercises to a colleague. Once you've completed the review questions and the guided practice, you'll then move on to the next module.